Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm Katie McManus, your practical business coach, and new business owners work with me so that they can leave their corporate 9 to 5, replace their six-figure income by doing work they love. And tonight, I want to talk about the fears that new business owners tend to have when it comes to figuring out their pricing. And this is a big one, right? Because if you underprice, you're not going to get paid what you're worth, and you're probably not going to get paid enough to live on. And it can be the death toll or the death knell of your business. So figuring out your pricing is going to be really important, but we can't figure out your pricing and price you fairly if you have all this like mental garbage going on. If you're really stressed out about what people are going to think of you, if you think any of this stuff. So let's talk about the fears that hold people back from pricing themselves fairly and how you can get past them, how you can like logic your way into pricing yourself fairly. And full disclosure, I am going to be pushing you to my 5-day challenge, the Build Your Business 5-day challenge that starts on Monday. Day 4, I literally walk you through how to figure out your pricing. Okay, so if you don't know your pricing, if you have an offer, if you know how to speak to your clients and all that stuff, but you don't know how to price your work, guess what? You should sign up for that challenge because I'm going to show you exactly how you can price yourself so that you can make enough money doing work that you love. I am going live on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and over here on my phone on TikTok. And for some reason, however the lighting is on my phone, I look a little orange. How do I fix this? That is so weird. Oh, I just liked my own live. That's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Yeah, I look a little like I've had a little too much fun with the self tanner. Yeah, no idea. No idea how to fix it. Nope, no clue. We're just a little tan on the iPhone. Anyway, okay. So let's talk about where people start when they try to figure out their pricing. And this is the part that, you probably think you're like so smart and you figured it out. And like, this is the way you're going to figure out how you price yourself for your services. And everyone starts here. And everyone gets it wrong. Okay. So if you're starting here and you are freaking out about this, you're not alone. Hi, Mark. Welcome. Mark Ziegler. Welcome. Hello. Ukaz. Welcome. You're not alone. This is where everyone starts. And it's this. Everyone looks at how much they made in their last job. Everyone looks to see what their hourly rate was for when they did this work in a corporate setting. And they try to figure out like what this would look like as a package. And like, yeah, working in a corporate job where you make $75 an hour and you're paid $75 an hour for 40 hours of work. Like, let me just pull up my little calculator here and let's do the math, because typically that'll be a decent chunk of change. Okay, so let me see. So $75 times 40 is $3,000 a week. Let's do that times 50 weeks. If you're taking 2 weeks vacation, that's $150,000 a year. That is decent money if you are working a job. But what we don't take into account when we work for ourselves is it is very rare that we're going to be doing 40 hours of paid work, right? So if you were to charge $75 an hour, but you're only doing 10 hours of work a week, that's not enough. Okay, that is absolutely not enough to live on. Let's just do the math. 75 times 10 is 750, which I mean, like I used to make that in a week when I worked in restaurants and I waited tables. That would be 3 nights of work. Let's do that times 50. That is $37,500 for the year. I don't know about you guys, but I can't survive on that. And I don't know many people in the United States who could survive on that. That is the poverty level. No one is supporting themselves and thriving and being able to buy property and living their best life on $37,500 a year. All right. So when we base our pricing on what we've made in corporate jobs before, what we end up doing is signing ourselves up for hardship. And we don't want that, right? Because you are so fucking talented. You are so talented and you have so many gifts to give the world. And if you underprice yourself, if you don't charge enough for the work that you do, what's ultimately going to happen is you're not going to make enough money to live. And when you don't make enough money to live, you're going to have to quit doing this work, which means you're going to have to abandon clients who've decided to work with you because you can't afford to continue working with them. And no one wants that. Hi, Howard. Hi, Jules. Hi, Mary Eva. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Susanna. Welcome. Hello, everyone. And that's not right. That's not right for you. And that's not right for your ideal clients, the people who really want to work with you. Great Aunt Vet. Oh my gosh, logging out and back in for my business account. Oh, so great to see you. And hi, Alan. Welcome. Hello. I'm just going to keep checking Instagram because the comments for some reason on Instagram don't come through to StreamYard. So I have to constantly be looking at different things. Hi, Zach. Hi, Bulldozer Rob. Hi, Maureen. Welcome. Hello. Yeah, so it's really, really important when we start our businesses to really, really figure out what pricing we can do that is going to allow for us to live a really good life. And that's going to be something that our clients will pay. Now, a lot of times when we think about what our pricing should be, after we get past this phase, we're like, well, this is what I made in my last job. And so I should just charge that here. And we realize that the math just doesn't math there. We then go to the next question of, okay, well, what am I worth? And this is a big existential question for people, right? Because what are you worth? Right? What is your worth as a human being? Tell me while you do the mental math on that. How do you do the mental math on your worth? What is that based on? And oftentimes, this is where you start getting all of the shadow work out of this little trunk that you keep hidden in your personality. And you have to start going to therapy because you start realizing, oh my God, I have really low self-esteem because I don't see myself as worth that much. Right? Because there's so much that goes on when someone has to assess themselves to be worth an amount of money. For one, there was a war that was fought on that over 150 years ago, I think. And you can't assign a price to a human being. No, you can't. That's illegal. For two, worth to who? Right? If you spoke to your mother, if you spoke to your children, if you spoke to your partner, if you spoke to your best friend, what amount would they put on you as a human being? I bet you it's going to be a lot higher than you would ever put on yourself, right? Hi, Chris. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Shoe King. Oh, I do love shoes. The Real Side Tugs, welcome. And Whitbit, welcome. Hello. And let me just check in. 302 Notary Service. Oh, that's you, Yvette. Hi. Welcome back. Anyway. Yeah. So your worth as a human being, is neither here nor there. Right? Because here's the thing. When you think of this, you could be the absolute shittiest human being in the world. You could be the scum of the earth. You could be someone who ruins lives, who is just so toxic to be around, has really bad hygiene. No one wants to spend time around them. And yet you could absolutely be the penultimate engineer for shipping vessels, right? And shipping vessels, you are the one that comes in that makes shipping vessels that much more efficient in going from one side of the ocean to the other side, bringing in billions of dollars a year for that shipping company, right? How much is that person worth? How much is their work worth? And I hope at this point you're kind of a light bulb is going off. If this shitty person can have that big of an impact monetarily for their clients, maybe pricing is not actually based on how much I'm worth as an individual. It's actually based on how much the results are that I get my client. Right? And that's what we really want to think about. We want to think about what are the results that we get our clients worth, right? So for instance, if I think about what I do for my clients, I can think about, any number of clients. So like I have a client right now who just signed a consulting gig where she's making $650 an hour, right? In about 3 months of work, she will make over $100,000 just in doing fractional work, right? That's it. And she's, loving the work. She also does some coaching. She also does some of this stuff. She's been working with me for a while, right? And like the value of my work has helped her get there, right? If I only charge like $2,000 for her to figure that out, like that's undercharging. Obviously, I'm not going to charge $100,000 for her to work with me because she's just starting a business. Like she, when she started with me, she was just starting, and of course, she's building and building and building. I'm not going to charge everything that she would make, right? But like, I do have to charge my worth for the results that I get her, right? The results that she gets through working with me. I have another client who, went from making about $2,000 a month with their copywriting business. They didn't want to give up their job because they loved their 9 to 5, but they did want to make enough so that they could retire their wife who hated her job. And, in about a year and a half, they built from making $2,000 a month to making $150,000 a year, working only 12 hours a week in their side hustle copywriting job. That is an amazing result. And you know what? Like you have to charge. If that's what you're giving your clients, you have to charge accordingly. So people are invested in getting those results. Hi, Baron. Hi, Lawrence. Welcome. Hi, F. Wah. I love that. Anyway, yeah, so like you have to figure out what are the results worth when you work with your clients. What are you helping them with? Let me see. Bray's Mom Jay, what's my worth? Oh gosh, are we gonna dig into some family drama here, Yvette? Oh gosh, can't wait for it to unfold. But like notary services, like let's go into that, Yvette. So notary services, like yeah, sure, like there's a standard rate that goes for notary services, but like, is there a convenience level that you give? Is there like an extra service that you make it easier for people to sell houses faster? There's so many things that go into it that ups the value of the results you give. I'm trying to think of another example here. And the other part about pricing that we like don't look at when we're trying to figure out what we should be pricing our work at is like what's the minimum that your clients are going to see you as good quality, right? Because oftentimes when we start businesses, we're like, well, I'm brand new. I should have baby prices and just get a few clients in at this like low rate. And then once I have some like testimonials and proof that I can do this and blah, 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 then I'll raise my rates. Well, ultimately what that ends up doing is you attract clients who like don't expect you to be that good. And because they don't expect you to be that good, they don't take you as seriously as they should. And so they're not as invested in the work. And so they don't show up the way that clients who would pay more would show up. And so you end up getting clients that like are happy with you, but they're also not your ideal clients. And also they didn't really get the results that like the big payers will get. Because I mean, here's the thing, people associate quality with price. Hi, Legacy Wealth. Welcome. And hi, Lucy. And hi, Jose. And hi, Butcher Dude. And Ruben Castillo. Welcome. So if you're undercharging for your work, what you're basically telling a bunch of people out there is, hey, I'm actually not that good at what I do. So you should go see someone else. I can't tell you how many times, and I charge a lot to work with me one-on-one. If someone wants to work with me one-on-one, they get unlimited access to me pretty much whenever they need. Like they have my cell phone number. They can call me at any point. They can text me. I'm basically holding their hand and helping them build the business from the ground up, right? But for that access, they need to invest a lot of money. And I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people who are looking for a business strategist or a business coach. And we get on the phone, they're like, full transparency, you're not the only person I'm interviewing. I really want to find the right business coach. And I'm like, okay, great. My answer is always this. You need to find someone that you trust. You have to find someone who you know is going to be the right fit for you in this process. Because if at any point you lose trust with this person, you're not going to get what you need out of that relationship, right? And I can't tell you how many times I've had that first call. They say, this is amazing. I'm really interested in this. I really like you. I still have to go and talk to these other people. I'm assessing them to potentially be my coach as well. And we set up a follow-up call. And in that follow-up call, they come back to me and they're like, okay, decided I want to work with you. And here are the reasons why. And top amongst those reasons, it's because I was charging the most of all the coaches that they spoke to. Because when they looked at all the options and they looked at all the coaches that they were thinking about working with, what they really wanted to see was like, who's going to give me the permission to charge more? Who's going to push me to charge as much as I possibly can for the work that I do? And because they are able to do it for themselves, right? When you charge more money, people assume you are the better one at the job. Now, of course, you have to actually be good at what you do. You can't just go willy-nilly and be like, I charge this much, I'm the best. You have to actually be really good at what you do. But chances are you are really good at what you do. You just don't have the confidence around it yet, right? And that comes with time. That comes with working with clients and getting them results and all the things. There's a stair rate and administrative cost plus travel expenses. I don't get many clients from certain places because they're tire kickers, not looking for a service provider. Yeah. You know, the cool thing when we charge more than others is we actually scare away the tire kickers because like they are able to see right away, like, oh no, never mind. That's not going to be the person for me. But yeah, like figuring out your pricing is probably one of the most vulnerable things you're going to do as a business owner. And it's never going to stop, right? Because like you're going to reach like portions of your business or of your life cycle in your business where you have to raise your rates and you have to revisit this conversation. Now, next week in my Build Your Business in 5 Days challenge, it starts on Monday. Again, the link to register is, if you're watching this on Instagram or on TikTok, it's in the link in my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube or on YouTube or LinkedIn, then go to the link that I shared in the description of this live and you can register there. On day 4 of that challenge, I'm actually going to show you my exact formula for how you figure out what you charge. Not only that, but later that evening, after you get the very clear instructions about how to do this, I'm going to hop on a Zoom room with you as part of our daily coaching, and I'm going to help you figure this out. I'm going to coach you through the answer you got. I'm going to give you feedback. I'm going to give you a reality check if you're charging too little or in the very, very low probability that you're charging too much. I will check you on that. But honestly, like you being successful in your business, a big factor in this will be you charging the right amount from the very beginning. Okay. If you don't charge the right amount from the very beginning, you can actually doom yourself to failure. I know that sounds really dramatic, but it's very true. Because if you don't make enough to support yourself, then you're not going to do it. Let me see. I don't get many clients from certain places. Oh, like Instagram. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I love that you're bringing this up because not every social media platform is going to be the right place for every single business. Hi, Tikunelana. Hakuna Matata. Hello. How are you? Welcome. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your username. I'm probably putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Anyway, but yeah, like the beauty though, when you have the right pricing, when you know exactly what your work is worth and you're able to get on a sales call with someone and you're able to communicate it and you're like, wow, that's expensive. But you know what? I see why this is worth every single penny. Sign me up. That is the magic when you figure out your pricing and you get it right. That is when you start attracting only your ideal clients to come and work with you. That is when you like actually get to build the freedom and flexibility to live your life on your own terms because, oh my God, my dog is licking my knee. Hello. What are you doing? What are you doing? You want to be on the live? Luna, you want to be on the live? Come here. You want to get up? Up, touch. You want to say hi to everyone? Touch. Ready? Oh, no, you come here. Come here, grouchy goose. You got to say hi to everyone. Oh my God. Hi. Oh, thank you. You smell like sardines. Did you have sardines? Is that good? What do you want? Yeah? Do you want to tell people about how they should price their work? Luna has a lot of wisdom with this. You done? You don't want to be part of the live anymore. I get it. No, I'm not giving you anything right now. I'm working. I'm talking to people on the interwebs. You can't see them, but they just saw you. Anyway, this is like one of my favorite things of working from home is that I get to, spend all my time with my dog. Hi, Rosemary. Hi, the running fairy. Hello, welcome. I'm just going to check in with everyone. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but once you have your pricing set up and it's proper, you're going to attract your ideal clients. You're going to be able to make enough that you get to make the rules in your life. You can work from home. You can have your dog jump up on you and kiss you on a live. Whatever it is that you want to incorporate in your life, you get to decide that when you make enough money to do that. That is the magic of this, right? And there's something that happens when you start charging what your work is worth. Hi, Patty, welcome. And you see people coming to work with you and they are so excited to pay it. And when they work with you, they are just getting everything out of it. And they're so excited every time they log in with you. And there's something that happens to your self-esteem. There's something that happens to your confidence. Like you really start embodying this person that you're becoming. You become this powerhouse version of yourself, and there's no going back from that. Even if at some point you decide, actually, I don't really want to run a business. Actually, this is not the right fit for me. When you go back to find another job or in any other endeavor you might do, you go into those conversations knowing at a core bone deep level just what your work is worth. Right. And you can advocate for yourself in ways that you could never do before you did this kind of work. Anyway, with that, I hope you'll be joining me for the challenge that I'm doing next week. Again, it's the Build Your Business in 5-Day Challenge. If you want to sign up for it on TikTok and Instagram, go to the link in my bio. If you're watching this on LinkedIn or on YouTube, then go to the link that I shared in the description of this live and register there. It is completely free. Every single morning, you're going to get an email lesson from me in your inbox, breaking down, here's what you need to do. And here's a really simple exercise that you can do in 5 minutes or less to get this part of your business done. We're literally going to set up the foundation of your business in 5 days. And then every evening at 5 p.m. around this time, well, the half hour before, you're going to be hopping into a Zoom room with me, with a group of people, and I'm going to be giving you free coaching on exactly what you need to do. I'm going to be giving you feedback on the exercise that you did earlier in the day so that you're not just sitting there being like, I did the exercise. I have no idea if this is right. You're going to know. You're going to have the exact feedback. And by the end of the week, you are going to have a very clear-cut, simple action plan for what you need to do to go and get your first 5 high-paying clients. Okay, that is my promise to you. Anyway, I hope to see you in the challenge next week. For right now, I do have to go and deal with my dog. She was coming to tell me that she probably needs to go out. So I wish you all an amazing evening, and I will be going live again tomorrow on Friday at 5 p.m. So I will look forward to seeing you there. All right. Thank you to everyone who joined. I can't even list everyone over on TikTok, so I'm not even going to try because I will miss people and I don't want anyone to be offended. And Edvin, welcome. Edvin Gabriel Demoris, hello, welcome. And then to Yvette and Tikunalana, and to Alan and everyone over on Instagram, thank you for being here. I hope this is useful. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Just shoot me a DM. Anyway, have a great night, everyone. I'm Katie McManus, your practical business coach, and I will talk to you all very soon. Mwah. Bye.